Hi, hello, namaskar. This is your host Sarang, and welcome to One Story at a Time. In this podcast, we have Mr. Praveen Kumar Purushothaman. He is a Chennai boy living in London and currently working as the director of engineering. He has more than 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and close to 25,000 followers on LinkedIn. With more than 7 years in the corporate, he is a mentor to a lot of students and startups. So, Praveen, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Sarang. Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction. So 7 plus 3, 10 years, you can say.
Okay. All right. So I was actually so whenever I speak with guests on my podcast, I usually go through their LinkedIn profile and do some bit of homework, look at all their experiences. But when I checked your experiences, there were
Do
like
it.
more than 46 experiences. So I thought, okay, what am I going to tell? How am I going to introduce? So I think I will leave that bit to you. So if you could quickly introduce about yourself and journey, how you went from Chennai to London. So yeah, please start.
Definitely. I'll do a quick intro. So I'm Praveen, originally from Chennai, currently living and working in London. So I'm a full stack JavaScript specialist specializing on React and Node. So basically, my journey is very simple. So I did my bachelor's of computer science from one of the tier 27 colleges of Anna University in Chennai. And people are complaining about tier 3. Now I'm in tier 27. Okay. So after doing 4 years of engineering, I went into one big company. If I want to cover the name of the company, it sounds similar to BCS, one of the big mass recruiters, or gun forces, not in gun forces, but BCS. Okay, you understood. So working at BCS for about 3 years, I thought, okay, I want to go for a next level, and it included one of my personal loss as well. So I thought, okay, why don't I go ahead for a next level of learning something, studying something. I went to pursue my master's in cloud computing from University of Leicester. So back in 2013, cloud computing was the trend setter. The main reason why I wanted to go for cloud computing is just for the namesake. I already knew everything related to cloud computing because I have been working in the same area. The thing is, I did not have any kind of, like a proof of work or proof of study or something like that to show that I'm good in cloud computing, even though it's not my cup of tea really.
Mm.
I love doing it. I work on it. I'm excellent in it, but I don't want to do it, something like that. I always want to stick to web development. That is my most favorite things. And it's just for a namesake because back in then, back in 2013, it was trendsetter. If I wanted to do it now, it would have been, so if I wanted to do it like 2 years ago, it would have been data science. If I had to do it now, it is artificial intelligence, and you know what is happening right away.
Yeah.
So that's my quick story. And after graduating from University of Leicester, masters of cloud computing, I started with a company that sounds similar to Backcenture, and then 2.5 years of amazing experience. And there is nothing to complain except salary. And no, I mean, like, it is the same thing with almost all the service based companies, right? But the way they treated me was amazing. So after 2.5 years there, during that time I was exploring every single city of the UK. And apart from that, I gained a lot of exposure to almost all the government, insurance companies, etc., etc. A lot of experience I got talking to the clients, understanding how UK's economy works, etc. And then I went to a startup. It's like a mini Backcenture.
Mm.
It's called okay, I couldn't say any other name,
Alternative name.
dubbed name, so I did not think of it. It's a mini Backcenture where I worked on an insurance company. Many people have uh, known about this AXA insurance, and
Mm.
so I was working with them for a couple of almost like 1.5 years. It was amazing. That's when I was able to, um, they used to say na motta viddayu erakitran, like that. It's a Tamil famous Tamil dialogue where I'm going to put all my talents into this. So I did that. And almost the whole project is through React.js.
Mm.
And I was able to show my complete metal. And the next project was also almost similar. So that's my almost like my baby. I started with nothing. I built some kind of an empire, and then I said bye bye by donating the baby to another hands. And then after that, it was in a place called Cornwall. I come from Chennai. Chennai is like a peninsula. Every side you will see beaches, but whereas where I studied was a landlocked city, no beaches or no water world. And then the next backcenter was in Newcastle upon Tyne, the northeast of UK. So first one was Madhya Pradesh of UK, East Midlands. Then I went to northeast of UK. Good one. There are so many ports, there are so many beaches, everything is there, but everything was frozen. And coming back here, there was this HR that kind of like brainwashed me. Praveen, I'll take you to all the 600 beaches in Cornwall, and it's going to be amazing. I'll take you one by one beach every single day. She promised me, and she also did it for me. And that was one of the amazing experience, only to realize that there were only beaches. There was no Indian food, no Indian community. If at all I found any Indian person in Cornwall, that is employed by this company, colleagues only. So it was like that for me. And it was actually a really good experience because I was the complete responsibility for all these two projects, etc. And again, there is another Tamil quote I wanted to say. Katti eduthavan kattiyala dhaan savan, which means if you take a sword, you will die by a sword. So I don't know how I went into this banking and financial services. From that day onwards, for the next 6 years till today, I'm inside banking and financial services. Fate. But
maybe the pay is better.
Pay is better, but at the same time, it is going to be very, like you cannot even open google.com. I mean, when I was working with JP, it was like kind of, I cannot even open google.com. And it was completely frustrating. I can't even search anything. All I need to do is with my brain. I mean, like I was able to work through my mobile, but within 6 months, I ran out of all those things and I just quit it. But that happened. So exactly. So 1.5 years later, I wanted to get out of this desert. So I moved to London, the place of all the good things. The God saw me that I'm so happy. He put a lockdown in the name of COVID, 2020 March. So unfortunately, I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't enjoy the best of London. So I moved to London for this Google Analytics for Games company. It's called Game Analytics, where I wanted to do something totally different, like convert an Angular project, migrate it into React.js, because that is React.js is my girlfriend and JavaScript is my wife. That is the way I see it. So I was able to do it even before they expected that I will take like 6 months. I finished it 6 months, and then 2 months is left. They couldn't pay me. So they said like, okay, Praveen, we will search for you for your jobs. Hey, what are you doing, dude? So I was working in the company in Game Analytics. Suddenly the recruiting HR, he used to sit there. He was like, Praveen, there is another job here. Should I apply for it? Should I send your resume? Hey, don't embarrass me. I will go myself when I get that job. Like, please. They have been so supportive to me until I got a new job. They were like kept holding of my job and my salary, every single thing. I'm so grateful. And then I got into, again, as I mentioned, Katti eduthavan kattiyal savan, because banking. So I went to my favorite bank where I banked to. So I took care of the mortgage thing. So for the next 1.5 years, I was sitting in my home. It was completely work from home because of the lockdowns. And the moment I joined this company, this bank, they said like, Praveen, your ID card is very, very, very important. Without that, you cannot even enter the building. After 1.5 years from May 2020, I left the job in, let's say, 2021 November or something like that to join JP. Even till today, I did not get my ID card. Fun part is what I did is, in case if anyone is planning to buy a home, you need to get a home loan, right? Here in the UK, they call it as mortgage. So if you are applying for the mortgage from Lloyds Banking Group, any of the banks, Lloyds Bank or Halifax Bank, whatever you see on the screen, everything is hand coded by these fingers. For 1.5 years, that was my project. It was not just me. It was a complete big team. So I took care of the look and feel and other things, but it was amazing experience. Then after that, JP happened. They not good experience. I don't want to even talk about it. So a couple of months and learned a lot about trading and other things. And
Mm.
I joined as a vice president of engineering, and it was like bit higher responsibility, and it was kind of okay. Then after 6 months, I left them because of their work culture, and then now I'm at this company, current company. It's one of the three big credit tech agencies, and I'm a director of engineering, one of the directors of engineering for UI UX. So I completely take care of consulting for internal consulting for the user experience, user interface, setting the standards, etc. These kind of things I'm doing it. That's my complete journey. Sorry for delaying a lot.
46 experiences in 5 minutes. Okay.
Not 46, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe 46. I don't know. Because Accenture experience itself is like so huge, right? So
And I love how you came up with those alternative names for your previous companies.
thanks to S. Manak. He's one of the stand-up comedians. He used to say the same thing. So I
Acha.
got like Backcenture, BCS, Gunforces, Zipro. Oh, by the way,
Uh,
I even got an offer from Zipro recently. I had to reject.
recently, yeah.
Yes. So while joining this current company, I had got 6 different offers from 6 different companies. Very competitive. It was very tough to decide which one to go with. I just took this one.
Superb, yeah. Okay, so now let's jump into the interesting part of the podcast. So you are like the web development king, right? You are like the Superman, right?
I wouldn't say it. Every single day I used to learn something new. So it's always a
Okay,
learning.
fine. Now let's assume that you are an expert at web. I'm not assuming. I know you are an expert at web development.
Thank you.
So now I have a couple of questions surrounding web development or software development for that
Shoot them.
matter. So, since the internet boom, software development is always there, like it's a buzz, right? So, the first question is why should people choose software development? Why development?
Why development? Because nowadays, I'm actually, to be honest, for the past couple of hours, I was having my existential crisis looking at all these artificial intelligence things. And if you had seen all my LinkedIn's
Yeah,
latest posts, you could see the fear of like, should I even continue in IT? Should I just
correct.
go ahead and make a London idni chutney kadai, and then
Exactly.
I'll start my own chef business? Because already AI is taking over a lot of things, so we have to be very competent. Why software? Because for me, I love it. From my young age, I have been working with different kinds of computers. They excite me. Problem solving things excite me. You love solving a puzzle, then this is definitely for it. Every single day your manager comes with a new problem. Praveen
Hmm.
solves this and do something like that, right? So that is kind of an experience or something like an escape room. Escape room is where
Hmm.
like you have to come out of it. The escape room is the recession. You are firing order, so you have to within the time you have to come out of it. So every single day I see it as a amazing escape room experience, and somehow I need to find the solution. I need to make sure that my boss is not gonna be mad of what I am doing or like what I am not doing, something like that.
Hmm.
That's exactly what is my mindset at that point of time. And obviously software development will give you the same kind of feel, and that's why the thing.
Okay. And also, if you look at placements in Indian colleges, Indian engineering colleges, a lot of them are placed at core companies, which is more or less software testing, or if they are very lucky, software development, right? So, and a lot of these
That's
students,
actually a bit pathetic. People
huh, it
study
is
so much for like 4 years of engineering and they are going into testing. Why? Okay, go on.
exactly. Yeah. So, my question to you is who should be a software developer? And I think you've already covered the why part, but who?
Anyone who wants challenges in their life and also who would like to ruin their life as well, just like me. There is a difference between doctors and engineers. Doctors try to save other lives. Engineers would love to kill their own lives. As simple as that.
Okay.
Even if it is a funny note, it is actually serious. I
Hmm.
almost went ahead to kill myself by spending too much time solving problems, doing a lot of community work, not taking care of my health or like
Mm,
uh, eating properly, etc. And it really went to me being bedridden for almost 3 days without eating anything. So it's
mm.
going crazy. So this is serious
Okay. So as per you, anybody who likes to solve problems must
and
get into,
challenges.
and
Yeah.
challenges must get into development. Okay. And
Yes.
also, I hear a lot from my juniors. They keep asking me, okay, I have to get into web development. I want to design websites. Which is the best programming languages to learn, and how do I learn it? So, how can I help them with this question, Praveen?
This is actually very easy for you to answer it. The web has got only three parts.
Mm.
Let me try to explain with a story.
Okay.
Let's say you are going to build a house. Consider the house, the complete built house is the website.
Mm.
So things that you need to build the house: bricks, mortar, cement, scaffolding, TV, fridge, washing machine, fan, tube light, etc. All these things are the HTML elements, the contents of the website.
Mm.
Let's say you want to have the television here, the walls should be painted white, the ceiling should be like the sky blue color, the floor should be this particular color, switches should be here. All these presentational things, they are all given by CSS.
Yes.
And finally, switch portal lightning. Like if you
Mm.
switch on the switch, the light starts glowing and the fan starts running. The interactive part, that is JavaScript. So basically, you need to learn these three things: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That makes a website. And with that being said, learn HTML and CSS from Free Code Camp. And there are like, oh, I do have my own YouTube channel with 10K subscribers. You said that. Please subscribe to me and learn from me as well. But it won't be as best as Free Code Camp. They are amazing there, and in-depth uh, courses are there. Like just to learn HTML and CSS, the premium course is like 21 hours
Mm.
and it's free. It's free on YouTube. So
Everything
you
is
can
free.
you can actually do it, like do it by building it things and stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
purely practical course. That's how I always like to tell my people, whoever wants to do something new, try to do it practical so that you will know where exactly you are failing. So if you fail
Correct.
somewhere, ask people like me. We will say, okay, you did this, because of that you failed, you should not do this, you should do this way, so that you'll learn something new. So that's exactly what I would suggest for any new people. That's exactly what I'm saying you to tell others as well.
Got it. So if anybody has to start with web development, they have to learn HTML, CSS,
CSS and
JavaScript.
JavaScript. Best way to learn is Free Code Camp. For JavaScript, there is another resource called javascript.info.
Okay.
These two things are extremely good, and it is
Okay.
for beginners.
It is for beginners. Okay. And I love about how you said your courses are practical. And even I personally believe in learning by doing, right? You can only learn when you do something. So any platform or any tool that provides projects for students.
So as I mentioned, I spoke about Free Code Camp and
Hmm.
javascript.info. The way these two videos are structured is in Free Code Camp has got something to do with, you have an aim to complete it. So let's
Hmm.
see how we are completing it. While completing, we will learn things. That's how Free Code Camp is done. So
Okay.
you will learn every single concept of HTML, CSS by creating something yourself in your own sweet time. JavaScript.info, since it's a language, it is divided into three different parts. And first part is about JavaScript as a language. So
Hmm.
basically, the language has got its own constructs, it has got its own syntax. All these things will be told in the first part. Second part, why are you using JavaScript? To interact with the web page. It's called
Correct.
DOM elements. So DOM JavaScript interaction, that will be covered in the second part.
Hmm.
The third part is the advanced concepts, where you will be using the timers. That's the play thing which
Okay.
we always do, right? Timers, Ajax calls, network requests, and some more things. A lot of
Okay.
things are there in JavaScript. So you would be learning all those things. Um, Basically, these three parts, if you learn, that will be enough for JavaScript.
Hmm.
And how free JavaScript.info is being given to you is, every time when you finish one particular chapter, let's say a basic data structure in JavaScript or any other languages, arrays. You have an array of values, right? So when you learn all the array methods, at the end of the page, you have an assignment. So here's a small trivia, like you have 5 bananas, 6 apples. Okay, you have got this array, you need to get this output. How are you going to do? Use the above methods. Try it out. So there is a try box there. You have to write the code to get the output. If not, you have an answer. Like there is hint, then you have the final answer as well. So you can actually use that as a course, complete course, a proper one.
Okay.
So javascript.info it is.
Super. And quickly, if you could give out a roadmap for web developers. Let's assume that we are speaking to engineers. So in their 4 years of engineering, how should they divide those 4 years to learn web development or software development for that matter?
I guess it is going to be like a ongoing process. And yeah, don't trust me. There is roadmap.sh, amazing website. It has got every single roadmap for you. So if you want to go with Python, if you want to go with Java, if you want to go with JavaScript, that's my favorite language, have a roadmap for it. A roadmap is that it shows you what all things, it's like a checkbox, a very graphical checkbox. You need to check this. It's like a map, a treasure map where you need to find out all the treasures and make sure you are grabbing everything. You can grab it from anywhere. Like you can learn it from me, you can learn it from Sarang, you can learn it from Boss, you can learn it from Free Code Camp, you can learn it from any place except W3 schools. That's not good. There is the MDN, web platform docs, a lot of things are there. Learn from anything or learn from any YouTuber. So wherever you learn, try to do it practically and then make sure you understand the concept. Another best thing which I would say is learn and then try to explain it to a 5-year-old kid or your grandpa or grandma. Like for example, I talked about how is the HTML, CSS and JavaScript are related. So even my dad will understand, even my grandma will understand, right? So in simple ways, if you are able to break a complicated thing and explain it to them, that shows your expertise on the subject and command over the subject. So that's what I would suggest you doing.
Super. And there's one more thing that I've observed, Praveen. Let me know if this rings a bell to you also. A lot of these students are running behind certificates. They never focus on projects. Even yesterday, I had gone to a college to speak about why upskilling is important. Why should people develop skills, right? A lot of them did not have an idea of proof of work or projects, and most of them were in their final year of engineering. So, what do you think about this? Coming to the next question, let me relate this to the next question. So, the next part of this podcast is engineering, right? So,
I don't want to open my mouth, but okay, go on.
Yeah,
you want to pull words from my mouth? Yes, you're welcome. Be my guest.
So, okay, according to you, why should people pursue engineering?
Okay, let me first answer the first question related to awareness. It is not surprising. The reason why I say you is, I'm pretty sure you're just, I could see a lot of people have been starting their own communities at the age of 12.
Correct.
Including a person who you interviewed, right?
Yeah.
I'm amazed by the way he has been doing. Leave that guy. Okay, maybe he's just starting a community by looking at all these people. Okay, fine. I'm in the UK, I'm in London. I could see another 12-year-old kid made 400,000 pounds, which is 4 crores by selling NFTs.
Oh, shit.
Check the news. What I was doing during my final year of engineering, hey, I want to buy this pencil, Apsara pencil or Nataraj pencil, which is better? That was my mindset, mentality. That's the maximum I can think of. You're asking the wrong person. But at the same time, I feel so happy about this particular generation. Let's say 2K kids, Corona batch, whatever you call them. They are making really amazing things, which kind of like amazes me, at the same time scares me. So it's actually amazing. That is what I would say.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
So,
I was.
so this is the person you asked this question. And if I were to answer your second question, why engineering?
Hmm.
Society and pressure. You should not take this as an answer, really. That's it.
Yeah. But I mean, engineering is such a beautiful subject. Building something creatively and providing value to the society. There's a lot of things that we can do as engineers, right? But where do you think the Indian engineering system is failing?
Okay, let's put it this way. I
Hmm.
don't want to get into religious topics, but
Okay.
a lot of people have said Hinduism, that's what we both follow, I guess. So it is just a way of life, it's not a religion.
Hmm.
Similarly,
Hmm.
engineering is just a way of life, man. The way you think, your thought process are changed from the other people who are not engineers. There is
Hmm.
no difference between a computer science engineer and a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer. The way the person thinks is the same. Whereas a person who is not an engineer will be thinking in a different way, maybe better way, who knows. So that's my understanding of engineering.
Okay.
And it is just the way people are made to think in a different way or a better way or a particular way of think. What was your second question?
My question was, what do you think is lacking in the Indian engineering system? Where do you
Indian
think we are
engineering
going
system.
wrong?
Got it. So I have studied both in Indian education system as well as in the British education system. The one real difference I see is the British education system is far more updated, advanced, and practical.
Hmm.
So let's say if you are going to a practical exam, so for example, a practical session, it has got nothing to do with theory. So whatever you learned in theory will not come in practical.
Okay.
Practical stays practical. Whatever you learn in theory, the professor astonishingly takes a news article from yesterday and then tells about that today. What's our engineering subjects do?
20 years back.
Regulation 00 2000 1980. Regulation 1980. Not much changes in the syllabus or subjects. That is what we had. But I recently heard that Indian education
Yes.
system is getting an upgrade.
Correct.
Like what? After 4 years. Okay. Talk about engineering colleges. We are not allowed to use cell phones. We are not allowed to talk to the girls, which actually impacted me a lot
Hmm.
because my first co-partner, whatever thing that you call in the BCS, like initial learning program, is a girl.
Hmm.
I was running helter skelter from that person, including my boss, who fortunately or unfortunately was a girl as well. So
Hmm.
that kind of a mindset is being imbibed to, let's say, 90s kids.
Hmm.
So I feel that is also a wrong way of projection or something like that. But I don't know what is happening these days. So I'm already like, what, 2 decades old
Yeah.
from that. So I don't think I have the right to even talk about it. But these were the issues: practicality and what exactly needs to be told to the students. Those two things are like really lacking, and the upgraded stuff, like the
Hmm.
trend, it was not even the trend that whatever we learned. So basically in 12th standard, that is
Hmm.
before engineering, I learned Windows 98 and C.
Hmm.
Windows 98 in 12th standard. And when I went to the practical classes in 2008 or 2010,
Hmm.
it was using Windows XP. Man,
Yeah.
Windows XP came like a decade ago when I was using that. But it's fine. Windows XP was one of the best things. But in school, we were using Windows 98, which
Correct.
really came 2 decades ago. 2008, it was Windows 98. 2008, 98. Too much difference. And rules. When you say do not use your mobile phones, yes, I understand that the colleges are giving importance to the communication, also the behavior and other things. And if you like, if someone is caught using phones and they are like logged up with the phones are getting logged up,
Hmm.
after 4 years they are going to give back the phone. Just think about the phone's scenario. If it was a man, or if it was a human being, that human being would have lost one generation or maybe multiple generations.
Correct.
Android phone gets updates thrice a year, and 4 years, 12 different generations old phone it would have been. Without the updates, you cannot even update it. It's essentially a brick.
Correct.
No use for it. Just think about the people. I mean, I understand that do not bring the phones and you should abide by it, but the punishments are very severe. That should have been avoided. Now I don't think that's anymore, but that is what I would say.
Right. So basically, what you're saying is curriculum, updated technology, and practicality in teaching is what is missing, and
A, a better set of rules as well.
better set of rules as well. Okay, I
I
don't
mean,
think there are.
there is no point in like do not talk to girls and boys. Like, what kind of a crazy rule is that? And
I'm not.
to be honest, they prefer it.
I'm not sure if that rule exists now, but maybe in your university, who knows? But there have been a few developments with the national education policy coming up. There are different courses. They have design thinking courses now in engineering, so which is like
Heard
amazing.
of it.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, these
They
there
even
are a few.
started artificial intelligence
Yeah,
courses.
correct. Artificial intelligence and robotics, mechatronics, a lot of these new courses are coming up, and I'm really excited to see the execution because they can bring, like they can bring a lot of courses, but it depends on who teaches it and how they
Exactly.
teach it.
There is another problem with the teachers. I'm not sure I should say this, but comparing with the British universities and Indian universities, my experience, what I had was when I was studying my undergraduate in Tamil Nadu, there was this particular professor who was teaching me servlets. I was like asking him, like, Professor, I don't understand this. Why am I coming to the college to learn something new, right? If I don't
Correct.
understand, I have the right to ask a question. Praveen, shut up and sit down. First time. Second time, I know that in Java, which is a language that I personally hate, it is very clear that it is a syntax error. I told the professor, I don't think that is right. I'm not sure because this way, if you are writing, it's actually a syntax error, right? Praveen, shut up and get out. So that's the response I was getting. Whereas in the UK, so there was this Professor Thomas Erlebach. He is a German professor working in the UK as a professor of an Indian citizen, immigrant, studying in the UK. I started working on something really a crazy project idea. I was like the amazing idea, but it was like the Elon Musk level of idea. Every single professor was telling, do not take this up as a project, final year project, because this is your degree, right? Like you might risk up losing your degree if you are not able to finish it off. So what happens here is, what happened here is I started working on it, and in between I had a lot of troubles. So there was one point tomorrow I have my meeting with the supervisor, and I tried to finish it off, but I was not able to. There was some errors, and it was like 1:45 a.m. midnight, and I wrote everything that I wanted to tell the professor. This is what I was trying to get it, but I'm not able to get it. Tomorrow this is what I wanted to do it, but I get this kind of an error. I'm sorry, I will still try to work as much as I can to get the output, but this is the current scenario given that it's not working, but this is what I wanted to show you. I sent everything in an email and sent it to professor. And I continued to work. To give you a clarity or the context of it, let's say if I ask you to talk in Telugu, I don't think you can, right? Similarly, I was writing the whole code in a language called PHP, but the professor, Thomas Erlebach, he was completely a Java professor who has got not much idea about PHP. Within 15 minutes, I got an email reply, because I sent an email because it will not be disturbing for him, like sending an SMS or something like that. He's one professor. He's like 82 years back then. Now he should be 92 or 95. He was still using Vim for writing notes. So he's such a hardcore computer science geek, I would say. Not a nerd, because he's really, really socializing. So he's a geek. So what he did was amazing. Like within 15 minutes, at 2:05 a.m., midnight again, such an old person, he has to have his resting time. He sent out an email saying, like, Praveen, I don't understand the language that you are working with. So pardon my mistakes. Apologies. For what? Second line. I went through the documentation and I exactly tried the same things that you have tried. I saw that one of the places the documentation was a bit unclear. I appreciate that. You have to use a different PHP version. I tried it with two versions. I had like 5 years of damn experience and I did not think of switching the version, but blindly following the documentation, he did it. That's what I experienced. And then he said, you might have used this version. This is the error you are getting. If you try to upgrade the version and use it, you are getting the exact output what you wanted. So this is what I did, but I don't know the language. I hope I was able to help you something. Just compare this one with shut up and get lost. I don't need to say anything else.
2 minutes of silence.
For those people who are studying engineering in India.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely relate to that because even while I was studying engineering, I mean, it was supposed to be one of the reputed institutions in India. All my professors used to do was they used to come, they used to open a PowerPoint and then just read from the PowerPoint and go. That is what was happening. So I joined engineering because I was truly passionate about how electronics worked and how those small chips could do so many things, right? But as I progressed, as engineering started, I gradually started to lose interest because I did not have the practical application. I did not learn about the practicality of what I was learning, and what I was learning in the class and what I was doing in the lab was like completely different. And they were like so far apart. So definitely I can relate to what you said. Okay, I think we're also running out of time. So quickly, let's try
What
to
what
wrap.
about what about part two?
Part two, yeah, definitely. Just two more questions. Just two more
Go for
questions.
it.
Yeah. So one thing is, you have 25,000 followers on LinkedIn, right? So
Yep.
quickly, can you tell us why is networking important and how anybody can network on LinkedIn?
So basically, when I came to the UK for the first time, it is a Western country compared to India. And one of the seniors said that your network is your net worth. So whoever you have in your network, that is your net worth. So I started concentrating, I took it as a very serious advice and started concentrating on building my network. To be honest, I'm the only person who got an internship, a placement offer without a CV in a Western country in the entire history of British universities. That was because of networking. What else should I say for this?
How should
So
how should they go about networking?
a couple of so we will be discussing. If there is a part two, we are going to
Yeah.
discuss in
Okay.
depth in this. But in simple words, build things in public. So if you learn something new, try to tell to all the whole world that you learned something new. Even if it is a small silly thing, there will be 10 people to throw stones at you. Sorry, there will be let there be 10 people to throw stones at you, but there are 90 people who will get benefited from you without even telling. So think about that, consider them, and try to build it in public. What happened to me because of that? A lot of companies started looking at my profile. Oh, Praveen, you are working on this particular technology and you are having such a nice way of explaining things. Nice way of explaining things. Do you want to become an MLH coach? Happened. And unfortunately, now I am no more a coach. And wow, you are working on so many cool technologies. Would you like to work with us? Messages like these pop up in your LinkedIn inbox. And LinkedIn is one of the best ways to get a job in 2022 or 2021. And now Twitter is also coming to that age. So Twitter and LinkedIn are the tech things for you for getting a job. So I would say that is the best way to go ahead.
Super. So I think we will continue the rest of the podcast in part two where we are going to be talking about communication skills, mentorship, and in depth about networking. So, Praveen, thank you so much for shedding your time in coming here, speaking about networking, upskilling, and web development. I'm sure we will have a lot more to learn from you in the next part. So,
The
until
pleasure
then,
is mine.
yes, thank you. So, until then, guys, this is it from my side. This is your host, Sarang, signing off. See you in the next part. Bye bye. Bye, Praveen.
Bye, everyone. Take care of yourself. Your health is the first thing, rest is the next. And then stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.